dismissed every accomplishment I've made. You've talked about my father. Well, you call me an entitled millennial, I call you a carny succubus, because the dirty secret about you, the dirty secret is you need this generation more than it needs you.
Oh, man, I just love my job. Love watching wrestling. I love talking wrestling. Getting my notes in order, and we're going to talk about SmackDown, January 10th, 2025. I'll move that to the side. We're in Portland, Oregon. Joe and Wade on commentary, and I saw people say some mean things about Corey moving to SmackDown. Not SmackDown, NXT. He got demoted. No, I don't look at it that way. I love Vic and Booker, and I really love the chemistry. And I look at NXT as like it's not a demotion. It's just being on another show. But it's also to showcase what Corey Graves can do. And I really do like Corey Graves. And I really love the combination of Joe and Wade. So I'm glad they kept those two together. Of course, you got Pat and Michael Cole. Like, those two are just hilarious. And just a legendary team on the commentary section, you know. And I'm excited to see what Corey Graves does with Vic and Booker, because it's just been those two for so long. You know, adding a little flavor, it doesn't hurt nobody. It doesn't hurt nobody at all. So, you know, he's shucky, duggy, quack, quack. You know, Booker has somebody that's probably going to agree with him most of the time, and they're going to argue. And so I'm excited. But I don't look at Graves going to NXT as a demotion. I just want to put that out there real quick. So let's talk about SmackDown. Of course, we got our champ. And a lot of stuff are, like, I didn't really think of this as much as I thought I would when watching Raw and Netflix, sorry. People bitching that Cody was in the crowd, and we got super nice Rock, you know, and we had super just takeover TV time Rock I talked about on NXT, New Year's Evil, and being like, you know, I shit on Cody, y'all get mad. I show Cody love, y'all get mad. I think that is the best definition of a pro wrestling fan, in my opinion. And in general of nerd culture or anything like that. Like, I give, boo. I take, boo. You know, we want everything to be perfect. We want everything to be in place of where it should be, what it needs to be. And this is why we have a split of fans being like, AEW is the greatest thing. WWE is the greatest thing. And I'm just in the middle being like, hey, man, I'm enjoying my best days here as a pro wrestling fan. Like, I feel like I got two places to scratch two itches. You know, I can go to AEW. I can see all the crazy bonkers wrestling that I discovered, you know, back in the day when you were looking for that stuff. Then I can go to WWE for that cinematic feel and, you know, get these stories that I'm really invested in and characters that I love. And don't get me wrong, there's characters I love in AEW as well. So I try to be neutral as possible. Is there problems? Yeah, there's even problems with SmackDown and Raw and, you know, WWE in general. There's not we can't always be like, oh, there's no problems in AEW or WWE. There's problems on both sides. So I saw the bitching of Cody being in the crowd in Raw and being in the first section. I thought it was a little odd. I thought it was a little weird, but I didn't really think much of it. And I was like, well, you know, maybe they're doing this because he's not the champion of Raw. Gunther is the champion of Raw, which I thought was more disrespectful. Was Gunther wasn't even on the show. You know what I mean? Like, yes, we got Cody, who's the undisputed champion on SmackDown. I think eventually they're going to make the switch, but we didn't even have Gunther. We had a package for Gunther. The world champ of Raw. Not to be seen. And I understand that card was already stacked. I understand next week's Raw is not going to be as epic because they had to make a first impression with that episode, you know, with The Rock and everything, and of course Taker and Hogan, I guess. But yeah, I don't understand why people are bitching like, oh, Cody's sitting in the front, that's the champ, you know. I'm like, yes, but I think everything is playing the way it needs to play out, and I'm trusting Triple H and Shawn Michaels, hopefully, when he becomes his partner in running both shows. We'll see what's going to cook and what, you know. But I feel like Netflix was such a great debut. It's for Raw, But let's talk about Cody. He comes out. And then we have Paul Heyman, who comes in the ring, and they shake hands, and he's just like, hey, Cody, now that Roman has got the Ula Fala back, he wants his Undisputed Championship back. And the way he's going to do that, Cody, is he's going to enter the Men's Royal Rumble 2025. And I was like, oh my. Roman Reigns in the Royal Rumble, CM Punk in the Royal Rumble, John Cena in the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre. That's just 4. And we still, we got 26 to go. And we got a big match for the Undisputed Championship, Cody and Kevin. And Kevin interrupts, and I love the new shirt. Kevin is right. Great. Such a great shirt for Kevin. And Cody, he's busting his ass off with those acting chops. He's like, his eyes are going to pop out of his head. He's getting angry. He's hearing Kevin's voice, and then he just drops the championship and goes after Kevin, and then they go off fighting into the crowd and into the night. And here comes the bloodline surrounding Paul. It's only Jacob and Tama. And here comes Jimmy, and Jimmy fights him off the best way he can. And then here comes Cody. He's in for a fight. So this sets up our main event for the evening. A lot of stuff going on here, but that's the way we kick off this show. And as they're kicking out the bloodline, well, that's what's so funny is they were kicking them out, and I was like, but they have a match later on, don't they? But here comes L.A. Knight. Yeah. He comes and he knocks Jacob out, and he goes, he wasn't using his inside voice, and I had to kick his ass out. Yeah. And he goes out there. Then we have our first United States Championship match. So, sorry, LA Knight's a little bit later, but we have our first United States Championship match. It's Chelsea versus Michin. And I think they called Piper Niven the one-woman security for the United States champion, Chelsea. She's incorporating more of that United States flag into her gear and everything like that. And then she has Piper being the bodyguard and stuff. And this was an okay match. Chelsea got the win on a roll-up for Michin, and I don't think this is over. Even Michin on backstage says this Chelsea's still in her sights. So there's going to be a little bit of a rivalry going back and forth. Then we get the tag teams arguing. Los Garza, or why don't they just call them LDF? Like Legado del Fantasma. Like they're pretty deadly. This sets up their match. So this was an okay match. Los Garzas get the win. So then we go into our United States Championship match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight. Of course it ends in a DQ. Because LA Knight disrespected Jacob and Tama by kicking him out. And they come in and they disrupt the match and cause a DQ. So no winner. Shinsuke runs away. And then here comes Cody. Here comes Jimmy. We're really setting up that big night fight feel, baby. That's what we're doing here. Then we have A-Town Down Under versus Motor City Machine Guns, which was set up earlier when they were all arguing with each other. Awesome match, dude. It's so funny is when people's like, oh, now you're gonna be you leave the Indies and you go to WWE. You're just gonna be another tag team. I was watching that crowd. That crowd cares about this team. This crowd cares a lot. Let's look at an AEW crowd. Compared to a WWE crowd. So this is why, and it's those hardcore AEW fans that are just like, and Penta's going to get mixed up with Rey Mysterio. I think he probably considers that an honor. That we can see those two great Lucha Libres fight each other at some certain point. Yeah. And Penta being in the Royal Rumble? Come on, dude. Like, I just hate the inner arguments of being a pro wrestling fan with like people who just enjoy it. But this was an awesome match, man. I hope we get more for A-Town Down Under, or we just get Austin Theory and Grayson Waller just to disconnect and just go off and do their own thing. Pretty Deadly's backstage, after their loss, and DIY's like, hey, we got you guys still. We got you. Even though you helped us, we got you. Then we go into Nia with Candice backstage, and Candice tells Nia, like, hey, Tiffany's going out into the ring. And Nia's like, okay. Tiffy comes out. She's celebrating. She's our new champion. It's Tiffy time. She wants us to put some respect on it, to tell y'all what time it is. It's Tiffy time. And here comes Nia. I think one of the best promos she's ever cut in a very long time. Just stating, you ungrateful little shit. I was like, oh. And she goes in and she's just tearing at Tiffy, and Tiffy's, she's like, hey, I'm the champ. You're the idiot. Like, I waited, and I got you in the perfect moment, and this is why I'm champion or not. And, of course, this just ends up with Bayley, Bianca, Naomi. They all get in the ring, and they're all fighting for, I'm the one that should be champion, facing Tiffy next. I'm the one. And, of course, it ends up in a fight. Nick Aldis turns it into a four-way for who's going to face Tiffy next, a number one contendership. I was like, oh, that's awesome. And I was like, maybe this is going to be a match at the Royal Rumble, right? It's only a month away. No. But this was a fun match for what it was. Bayley gets the win, and she will face Tiffy. And I was like, yeah. But Candice tried to help Nia, but it wasn't happening because Bianca took out Nia over the announcer's desk. So, but Bayley got the win. And we have Jay and Mello backstage. It's such a great moment, man. Oh, not Jay, Jimmy. Sorry. I'm very sorry. Jimmy backstage. And Jimmy's like, hey, man, what's that thing you like to say? And he's like, Mello don't miss. Well, with all them bricks, you could probably build a house by now. And I'm like, dude. And Mello's like, you son of a bitch. That hurt me. Oh, Jimmy even did the yeet. Well, no yeet symbol, whatever you want to say. But, oh, man, that was so great, man. No yeet. He walks up. He didn't even say it either. But, damn, that was a nice burn to Mello. Then we get Byron with Bayley and says, it's official. You are the number one contender to face Tiffy for that championship, and you will face her next week on SmackDown. I was like, oh. And I know we ain't ending this Tiffy run anytime soon. But I was like, oh, okay. Well, that seems quick. I feel like these two can get some great promos between each other all the way to the Royal Rumble. Or unless we're just going to have Rhea face whoever, But I would love for Tiffy and Bayley to have a big moment at the Royal Rumble for that championship. But we'll have it next week. And I'll bet you it'll be a damn good match because I do love these two. And then we have Jimmy and Cody versus Jacob and Tama. But Jacob is a word master, promo master. This man tells Cody, like, hey, this ain't Elm Street, but your nightmare has arrived. And I was like, damn, dude. And then we have this crazy match. Then, of course, here comes Kevin. Cody sees him. He tells him, I'm going to get you on sight, bruh. He goes after him, and they start fighting, leaving Jimmy alone. I wonder if Jimmy's going to go at Cody, be like, yo, dog, you left me alone because Jacob and Tama got the win. And we go back, and Cody and Kevin are fighting all the way until they go through a table. And that's the way we end this show. And then I saw on social media that a fight was caught. And Kevin took some cotton candy in the end, too, for himself. Making this real as possible. Kevin and Cody hating each other and fighting each other until they get each other at the Royal Rumble. So a lot was laid out. Solo will be back next week. I think he'll declare himself into the Royal Rumble as well. But that's it. That's all. That's SmackDown, January 10th, 2025. Joe Wade on commentary in Portland, Oregon. My match of the night. Ooh. I got to say A-Town Down Under and Motor City Machine Guns. I really loved this match right here of the night. A lot of great moments with Cody, Paul, and Kevin and everything. And everyone's complaining too much bloodline. Well, we got a 3-hour window now. It's not 2 hours anymore. So there's got to be a little filler here and there. And why not have a little bloodline showing that they're still wreaking havoc amongst the SmackDown roster and everything like that, because they have multiple storylines going on. But I'm enjoying this 3-hour format. I thought I wasn't, because I was really enjoying the 2-hour Raws a lot, because a lot was going on. It was like boom, 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 boom. Oh, crap, it's over, like a good movie. But now we're like, okay, now we let the cinema play out. So, but that's it. That's all. Drop your comments below. I give this SmackDown a solid 4 out of 5. And yeah, 4 out of 5. Tell me what you thought. Tell me what was your match of the night. Drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Man, I can't talk today. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life, brother.
Roman Reigns wants his title back.